Right, what's going on there, everyone? Welcome back to James Redmond TV. Before we get into the video, make sure you download the OneFootball app. Link is in the description. People, it is marvellous. Let me say that, because that's my opinion, and I want to give that opinion to y'all. Listen, it is a great app. I would suggest that you go and click the link in the description and download it for any transfer news, live updates, scores, anything to do with your team, other teams in any league, then make sure you go and download that. Any competition, you need an update, you need the new, go to OneFootball because it's all there. Absolutely amazing. Obviously, you can see on the screen right now, so up to date, so detailed, and do you know what, mate? I'd recommend it to the next guy. And I want to thank them very much for sponsoring this video, because that's great of them, as they are helping the channel, therefore help them. But not only that, I was using this app even before they decided to sponsor the video, so really strongly recommend it. Go and download it. If I haven't said it once, let me say it again. Link is in the description. Enjoy the video, people. Right, hello there everyone, welcome back to James Redmond TV and welcome to a Premier League roundup. We are here with vibes, and it's because we're not here to talk about Liverpool. Well, we're not here to talk about Liverpool fully. We've got many big games that took place this weekend, and I feel... maybe I'm wrong, but you can just tell me, or you can let me know your thoughts. I thought there was quite a lot of big games this weekend. But, you know, with the fact that, you know, teams like Villa and Leicester are getting more into that big six equation, you know, it's one of them things where I'm very interested to hear what you think about this weekend's fixtures. It was very strong. You had big games. You had Southampton, Chelsea. You had West Ham, Tottenham. Bear in mind, West Ham, London is now cladded in blue. We're going to talk about that more in a bit. We're going to talk about Arsenal, Manchester City, which was a huge game. We're going to touch briefly on the Merseyside derby. But like I said, this isn't a complete Liverpool video. I just want to kind of clear something up with what happened in the game and give you my thoughts, and I'm sure you can guess what it is. If not, then stay tuned. Aston Villa and Leicester City played, of course. Manchester United just played Newcastle. All this and more coming to you right now on the Premier League Roundup. So before we do, smash a like, subscribe, become a member of the Redmond Army. And without further ado, let's get into it. Right, so like I said, this is the Premier League Roundup, but I want to just touch on something that I was talking about when it comes to the derby yesterday. And a lot of people disagreed with me, but a lot of people agreed. And I feel like quite a few people are split on what was the VAR decision in the 82nd minute. Now, before I do, I want to just first say a few things, and it's like, after the game, and you're doing an instant match reaction, and you're talking about it, I don't get everything right, especially when I'm all emotional and whatnot. Like, I haven't got a clear head, I haven't watched any highlights, I haven't engaged my thoughts with anyone else to really say I was wrong, or to remind me of certain events that happened. I just go off my own muscle memory in that moment, and I'll just kind of throw a rating out there, I'll put it up, and then boom. It's one of them things. That's how I judge a game of football. And when it came to this one, I couldn't help but realise, not that with that decision being given, we were going to get the 3 points. You know, I felt, even before that penalty, go and watch the watch-along again, I said, there's no chance we're getting back into this game, simply for the fact Liverpool get a donation of about 6 to 7 chances a game, really good chances, and if you don't take any of them, then yeah, you're fucked. And it just seems to be something about being at home. Everton Football Club have scored more goals from open play at Anfield than Liverpool, or the same amount of goals at open play at Anfield than Liverpool. They've done that in much less time. They had 28% possession and still got 2 more goals than what we did. And there was just more that went into it. So I didn't want anyone thinking that when I brought up the VAR decision, and in fact I've actually got something else to tell you, which is fucking crazy, but the only reason why I brought it up was not to have an excuse for Liverpool or a scapegoat. When a football game is finished, regardless what game it is, I am here to talk about the events that took place that game and my opinions on them. Not that you always have to agree, but for me, that weren't a penalty. And I'll justify why I don't think it was. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, he takes his shot on goal. So far, that's absolutely fine. Trent Alexander-Arnold slides in for the tackle. He's sliding to block the shot. He's not intentionally looking to take out Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's looking to stop the shot, which Dominic Calvert-Lewin has already taken. Now, the only reason why this is actually blocked is because it takes a few ricochets. It goes off Alisson. Everything's fine to this point, but the ball stays in play. And then you've got Trent, who then gets kneed in the head by Calvert-Lewin. A Calvert-Lewin that is already, if you watch the clips again, he's already on his way down. And the only substance anyone really has to say to true penalty was the raising of the leg. Now, the only reason why I'm going to say in today's age that's probably a penalty is because that's in today's age. If David Luiz, the red card he got a few weeks ago, if that's a penalty, then that was a penalty. But then in the game, Salah got shoved in the back by Keane, which in my opinion is not a penalty. But if that was given before, then we should have had a penalty. Again, we weren't going to win the game. Even if we came back 2-1, we weren't going to get a draw. But I'm here to talk about the inconsistency of what is English officiating and VAR. And this is where I want to tell you the story, and then we'll move on nicely. I've got a mate, and I don't want to say his name, but I've got a mate who works at Anfield, and he can he can listen in on the Stockley Park stuff. He's got a headset. He works behind the scenes with the scoreboards and whatnot, and he can listen in on Stockley Park and what they're saying. He can't hear the referee. But get on this. Obviously, there was the thing about the referee being a Man United fan. I don't look into that. But then it came out, apparently, VAR told the referee it was not a penalty. But the referee went and looked at the screen, had one look, and said, nah, it's a penalty. I'm going to give it. This is off someone who actually works for them. I'm not chatting shit to you. I'm only telling you what I've heard. And I thought when I heard that, it just didn't surprise me. Just did not surprise me. And if English referees are going to make decisions like that, then shame on them. Now, before I do round up this game, because we've got many more games to talk about, let's not disrespect the performance and the great defence that Everton proposed against Liverpool. Mason Holgate, boss. Ben Godfrey had all of our attack in his back pocket alone. And then even Michael Keane was making some vital blocks throughout the whole game. He was unbelievable. And Everton showed real relentlessness to be, when they did get them chances, they're going to put them away and they're going to hurt us. And that's what Everton did. And that's one thing I've gave them credit for many games. They only need a few chances to be able to get a few goals. And when they start getting more of them and they start getting more goals, they're going to start being more of a problem, people. So we need to keep one eye on our little cousins for sure, because they're getting much better. They're on the same amount of points. They've got a game in hand, and it's one of them, mate. If I had to say a man of the match for the game, he actually got given man of the match. And I know that you lot don't actually know that I don't like him, but Richarlison, bro, he was saucy in the game. Just shown that they didn't need Calvert-Lewin. Like, well, Calvert-Lewin, he's not available, I'll just step up, and that's what a really good player does, and that's what Richarlison is. So, fair play to Everton. Hopefully now I've kind of come across like I'm not making excuses for my team, because that's never the case, people. Liverpool should be doing better regardless. We shouldn't be 1-0 down in 3 minutes. But Everton also deserved that win. That's one thing we can't take away. But it still did take 22 years, 7 injured players and a pandemic to finally get it done. But you know, it is what it is. Right, now I think it's a good little segue to get into the biggest game, in my opinion, at least on paper. In fact, you know what? It can be up for debate. The Merseyside derby or Arsenal versus Manchester City. Let me know what was the biggest game in the comments down below for yous. I'll give you the reason to why it might have been a shout that City and Arsenal was the bigger game. Going into the game, Manchester City were 3 points clear after Leicester beat Aston Villa earlier on today, 2-1. And if they lost the game, there's the slightest glimmer of hope that maybe the title race can be kept alive just a little bit longer. Not that Leicester City are going to go ahead and win the league and overtake Manchester City. Not that I think that, but one thing I just want to try and offer is that even though that's very unlikely, whatever juice left you can inject into this title race, it looks like Leicester City were going all the way to do so. But when City got the goal in the first opening 2 minutes, Raheem Sterling with all the space in the world, but a very good cross from Riyad Mahrez, you just knew it was going to be another day like that for City. And it was a great performance, great 3 points. And as a matter of fact, it's very rare to see a team change the system so much, unless it's a Pep Guardiola side, and get a goal in the first 2 minutes, yet it still be so effective, and you still look so in control throughout the whole game. it was remarkable watching them. And I've done a live stream, a watch along for the Arsenal-Manchester City game, which is out on the channel now. Let me know if you want to see more type of watch alongs for neutrals teams, because I really did enjoy it, to be fair. But the fact that they were up 1-0 for pretty much 88 minutes of that game and just never looked like losing shows that you're a very good football team. Very, very good football team. It was the return of Kevin De Bruyne. There was other big performances like a João Cancelo. He done really well again. I think he's been the best fullback in the league this season. Zinchenko put in another shift. Ruben Diaz, another man of the match performance from what is this season the best centre-back by probably a good country mile. The close second being John Stones, who had another really good game. Just an unbelievable performance. If I had to go win a man of the match, I love Riyad Mahrez today for Manchester City. Thought it was really, really good. And I don't think it was all doom and gloom for Arsenal. I thought they done quite a lot positive to be one that you kept Manchester City from scoring for 88 minutes of a match. And you actually was able to get a few chances on the counter. It weren't like the game was just dead and dusted. Yes, Arsenal could have done better, but they also faced a team that was simply too good for them. There's no shame in losing to City, and to still get positive performances out of players like Saka, to still get minutes for players like Smith Rowe. That's only good for Arsenal. And even though the number one thing was points, at least if you're going to find any silver linings, that is it, Arsenal. So, great win for City. And I think it's safe to say now, if there was any doubt before, and I've said it for weeks, but if there was any hope left of this title race being open, that is being shut down after this. Now, a few other massive results that took place this weekend. Wolves beating Leeds 1-0 in what was a very, very, not one-sided game, but you could very much have a case to say Leeds deserved to win. Wolves definitely got a snatch and grab, I can tell you that for sure. But it's a very well-deserved snatch and grab and vital for them in the Premier League table. Obviously, Southampton played Chelsea. They drew 1-1. Samurai! Taki Minamino getting another goal. Obviously, all Reds are saying, James, you didn't like Taki Minamino, though, did you? You didn't like him. Oh, but now look at him now. Looking like the blimmin' Asian Luis Suarez. I hear you. But listen, great goal against Chelsea. 2 goals now for Southampton, and it is looking like we could do with him. That being said, I feel like we only benefit from this loan move of Takumi Minamino. He's going to come back with a higher value. He's going to come back with a bit more hunger, and also, more importantly, more confidence, because you cannot underestimate Premier League experience. You just can't do it, and that's what he's going to have after playing from Southampton. And thankfully he doesn't have a buyback clause, so it's right, Samurai. Great draw for what has been a very depleted Southampton squad fairly recently. He's been huge. Even Aston Villa and Leicester City, like I mentioned before, obviously Leicester City 2-1 away from home. To beat Aston Villa is not easy enough. To do it away from home is very, very good. It was such a good game of football. It was one of them, on paper, it was one of them anyone could win. They both had the players to kill the game off. Watkins, Vardy, Grealish, Maddison. Like, there was some very nice little even the goalkeepers, like Martinez is one of the best goalkeepers this season in the league, and Schmeichel, kind of a legend in his own right when it comes to the Premier League. Not like his dad, but in his own right. You've got to give him that shout. Big 3 points for Leicester, and actually a big loss for Aston Villa. If they won this game, they're making a proper charge for not only top 6, but top 4. With this loss being the case, it's actually good for teams like Liverpool, who were looking like they're going to be competing for 6th or 7th place. So, yeah, great win for Leicester there, and another fantastic performance. But also, I want to touch on the game, West Ham versus Tottenham. And there's actually something that I kind of took away from this game. So let me know what you're thinking, and see if you agree or disagree. So Jesse Lingard, even though he is he's a mank, he loves Man United, and you should never really want to see your rivals smash it, but there's something about Jesse Lingard, I'm happy he's doing well. I'm happy, he scored, and, he done the little thing, and Declan Rice came over and done the drums. You'd have my man, Fornals or someone, he was there playing the guitar. It was a lovely little moment, and you love that. You love to see that from your team against the bitter rivals, Tottenham Hotspur. 2-0 up, and then obviously Lucas Moura got a goal back. It was just kind of one of the games of 2 halves. Mourinho got quite a bit wrong again, but one thing I actually think he got right was starting Gareth Bale. And I thought Gareth Bale had a very good game for Spurs today. Not to the point where it was the old Gareth Bale. Not to the point where you could say, oh my God, do you know that Gareth Bale that left Tottenham? We've got that one back. It's not anywhere near that. You need to see a lot more to end up saying that. That being said, when you compare him to a Lucas Moura, when you compare this Gareth Bale to a Bergwijn, when you compare this Gareth Bale to a Lamela, which is his competitors when it comes to that right wing position, there should only really be one winner out of that combination. And Bergwijn, saucy, Lucas Moura comes up in some very good moments. But when it comes to Gareth Bale and what he has to offer for Spurs, he's massive. He is massive. And give that man just a few more minutes, give him a bit more match sharpness, and let's just see what he can do. He had some great chances today. He caused some serious problems for West Ham. And I'm very interested to see, going forward, if Mourinho was just going to think, do you know what? I've got him for however many more months. Let's just give him a go. We know he's been given to Eli Ali the silent treatment. We know he's probably, not going to start Bale for the next however many games. But just give him a chance. Can't hurt. You're not getting results. Don't fix what's not broken, except everything's broken kind of thing. So, it's madness, people. Let me know what you thought on the West Ham Tottenham game. And then to conclude, we've got the Manchester United 3, Newcastle 1. Again, a bad game to dissect, really. The United's going at it. Both teams needed to win. Newcastle fighting at one end of the table. Man United at the complete other. Don't get me wrong, United had a very slow start, but once Rashford got the ball in the back of the net, it looked like they were going to take a little bit more control. Don't get me wrong, I thought Darlow should have done better with the first goal from Rashford, but still very good for Rashford to get that into the position to take the finish on. It was at near post though, like I said, so I thought Darlow could have done a little bit better. But then St. Maximin, Mr. 5-star skills, St. Maximin, the one who, if with the fact he didn't have a Callum Wilson, you're probably looking at him for your goals, him or Joe Linton. He came out, he turned up, he hit the ball perfectly, he got the right power, and more importantly, he got that equaliser for Newcastle, giving them a little bit of life, or maybe getting something out of that game away from home. But Dan James, Bruno Fernandes, kill any hope of that happening. 3 massive points for Manchester United. If I actually look at the table, which is how I end all these episodes, you've got Man City first, you've got Manchester United second, 10 points behind first place. Insane. Man City have smashed it. Then you've got Leicester City who are 10 points behind. You've got, this is behind Man City by the way, you've got West Ham who's 4 points behind both Leicester and Man United. Chelsea who are 5th, Liverpool who are 6th, Everton who are 7th, but they've got a game in hand. Madness. Even Aston Villa, even though they're 8th on 40 points, they've still got 2 games in hand over Liverpool and all the teams above us. So this is a very interesting Premier League season, people, and I'm very lucky and I'm very fortunate that I actually like football and not just certain things about football. Liverpool's my favourite, but I do love the sauciness of this season's Premier League. It's just if Liverpool were a little bit better, I'd like it all the more. But what a crazy weekend of games. I think we can all admit that. And some big wins and some big losses for certain teams. But let me know, people, what does this mean for the Premier League season? Who's finishing top 4? Who's finishing top 6? Let me know all that good stuff in the comments down below. Tomorrow, there is going to be a James reacts to your comments. So be on the channel for that. Be there or be square. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts on my thoughts about the game. Smash a like, subscribe, become a member of the Redmond army, and I will see you all later, people. Have a marvellous day.